Once upon a time, and earlier this year, my good friend Jacob Handworker invited me to take part in his yoga retreat in Sri Lanka, which he called Ashtanga Lanka. It was a 4-hour drive to the top of the hill before arriving in the villa. This was my room, pink sheets and all, 4-poster bed with a mosquito net. And this was the view walking right outside the balcony. 180-degree views, but really 360 if you walked around the entire estate. It was gorgeous. Every morning was magical. This was our common area where we had breakfast, the rest of the room, and my shower. Now, there was a full-size pool and a full-functioning slide. Surprisingly, not everybody took advantage of it, but to their credit, despite never running around in more than a pair of shorts, it was particularly icy, but also very refreshing, as you can probably see. So days were spent lounging, and evenings were not always this lively, but this was a wonderful dance party that we shared together. Most of the time we read, we explored, we took walks, we went into the city, but one of the most precious parts of the experience for me was seeing all of the different kinds of wildlife that I had never seen before. Particularly the monkeys, which we'll get to later, but looking at this little man, how could you not sit there in awe, appreciating his beauty and fluffiness? Now, this, decisively, while it represents only a small moment in time, was a very powerful experience for me. This was my first shave and a haircut. And look at this guy. Charming, friendly, knowledgeable, into his craft. Look how precise. I had never had anything like this done before, and I realize it might be one of the more common things that a man can do, but it was my first time. And you would not have believed where this hair salon was. It was off of a dirt road in the middle of town in what appeared to be nothing more than a cement building. There was an opening where you walk through, and this chair was there in the middle. He took his time, everything was clean, he used fresh razors, he was precise, and the result was amazing. The cost for both a shave and a haircut was about 65 cents. So I tipped him massively, shook his hand, and went home to enjoy this. It's interesting who shows up when you're traveling, isn't it? You think you're showing up for a quiet, restorative yoga retreat, and then here are aerialists and movers and dancers and Reiki givers, some of the best guitar and drumming I've heard, singing, dancing, connecting. There was everything. And of course, I felt like I brought the fire of acrobatics, which was also very special. We also had a naturalist in residence with us named Ayurvinda, who was there at almost all times, giving us tours and teaching us about the exquisite nature and beauty of Sri Lanka. And this is not what you think. While it does appear that I'm having burning hot oil poured down my back, well, I am, but it was a treatment, and the pizza dough wrapped around was intended to keep the oil in. This, much to the chagrin of my parents, who would like to never see me like this again, was another treatment, a full-body sauna-type experience after the healing session from the oil, where I lie in this unusual structure and over 8 types of Sri Lankan herbs steam upwards and cleanse the heart, mind, and spirit. Now, finally we come to one of my absolute favorite parts of being in Sri Lanka. These amazing, unforgettable monkeys. You could watch them for hours on end and not get bored. So all in all, this has been a tiny fraction of the experiences and festivities that happened in Sri Lanka. It was unforgettable. It's almost time to do it again, and it's coming up this February. If any of you want to join or experience it for yourselves, I would highly recommend it. For a little more than what you pay for your room rent in America, you get all expenses taken care of here. We're talking about room, meals, all yoga classes, adventure, it's all here. Well, with that, I'd like to thank you all for joining me on this journey. I hope that it inspires a handful of you to take action and hop on a plane. I've been your host, Tari Mannello.